Hello, crypto boys and ghouls. This was supposed to be a members only stream, but it looks like we're just going public with it tonight, so no worries about that. Chuni, if you're out there, I know we had set up some time for us to chat, and hopefully you don't mind, but because YouTube published this as a public stream, we'll just roll with it. Let me know if you're out there, and we can get started tonight with, well, pretty much any topics that are on your mind as members or subscribers here. I think we have chat open for subscribers of the channel as well. Feel free to let me know if you're out there and what questions you have to start today. We usually don't stream on YouTube unless we're streaming for our members here. We're usually on Twitch, on Splinterlands TV on Saturday nights and Sunday nights, US time, as well as sporadically throughout the week. But yeah, we figured we'd do this tonight and see what's on everyone's minds as we're counting down the days to Possibilis, the next Chaos Legion legendary airdrop for water, which should be pretty exciting because the water splinter is already probably the best and most powerful splinter in Chaos Legion right now as it is, so it might only get better with this new legendary summoner coming out. We've got the Christmas sale ongoing with a lot of big purchases happening probably in the next couple days, and Riftwatcher airdrops imminent here. We've got GLX pack staking coming live, so lots of stuff. We got promo cards coming out with that Chaos Legion discount. We've got crazy prices in the market right now for cards. People are just selling stuff for, well, just to get any DEC they can, pretty much, to get these Chaos Legion packs, which we can talk about that tonight because it's kind of an interesting proposition. You know, liquidate your cards for cheap to get Chaos Legion packs, which, well, are gonna just go down in value, at least in the near term, and their cards as well. So I see Military Dog out there in chat. Welcome, welcome. The promo Christmas deal isn't even in the shop. Seems under the table. Not really liking the vibe. No stats or info. Yeah, I think the Christmas deal without any special discounts, so just straight pack for pack, is available. So if you buy a pack in the Splinterlands store, you will be eligible for a promo card. It's not published or documented per se, but they have said they are keeping track. So if you buy, you know, a pack in the store in Splinterlands, you will get a promo card. You can still be eligible for the standard 10, 15, and 20% bonuses, but it's really more of the group buys that are getting the big benefits. There's CLP, which Neil McSpadden, I'm thinking of Darren McSpadden, the running back. Ooh, fantasy football days there. But Neil's running the CLP purchase. Gene and Josie are running the YGG purchase. And I think Crypto Eater is doing one as well in Mav chat. So yeah, so we'll see what that is. Again, you have to be attending, I think, the town halls and, you know, be at least active on peak to really know about that, because otherwise you may not. They're not doing a great job of advertising it, like you mentioned, in the store. So that is definitely the case. Could it be a new Splinter? The Salty Bear promo card, Archimus? I don't think it'll be a new Splinter. We haven't seen the specific card stats or details. If I were to guess, I mean, it would probably be a neutral card as a promo card, but you never know. I mean, there's a lot of promo cards that are Splinter specific out here. So if we go to promos specifically, and you can see, so we have what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 neutral promo cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 dragon promo cards. So twice as many dragons as neutrals. And then you've got 3 death, 2 life, 2 earth, 2 water, and 2 fire. Those are all betas though. So really pretty much the only promo card that's been a Splinter specific card since beta has been Waka for death. Everything else looks to have been dragon or neutral recently. So yeah, definitely interesting. We'll see what the team decides to do, because it's probably going to be a common, probably going to be high mana. I don't know if they do like a 12 mana neutral promo card common. That could be interesting. Could be a pretty powerful card potentially. We'll have to see. And let me know how things are in the audio department here on the stream. I just had to re-image my PC today and had to reset up OBS, so the filters for the audio are not tuned in specifically. So if the volumes are off on the audio, the voice, the filters, or the background, just let me know and we'll fix that on the fly. But yeah, so let me just check in here. And I saw that while I was out this evening, there was a GLX announcement for pack staking. Unfortunately, they didn't change the GLX pack staking. They're saying it might go live tomorrow, and then there's going to be a 7-day waiting period to stake your packs and start getting rewards on the 8th day. So that would mean staking rewards for pre-sale 1 pack purchasers who've bought money, or excuse me, paid money and bought packs several weeks ago. It's probably over a month now. We'll actually start getting staking rewards on December 14th. So that's unfortunate for many reasons, because as a initial investor in GLG or GLS packs, you put up money, and unlike GLX token staking, who had a 24-hour period before the staking rewards went live, and who have been getting staking rewards for, I guess, the last 2 weeks with huge APRs. If you're a GLG pack holder, unfortunately, you're getting screwed, because you're not getting rewards until December 14th at the earliest. By then, the APR on the staking rewards is probably going to be under 500%, whereas GLX token stakers were getting 9,000% plus. So that's bad news. I mentioned to Chatter in Discord, asking him why it was a 7-day lock period instead of 24 hours, like with the GLX token. He didn't respond. They didn't change the period, and unfortunately, if you hold GLG packs, well, you're getting the short end of the stick again, because your APRs, by the time you actually get any staking rewards, well, they're going to be pretty poor. So not sure why it's 7 days and not 24 hours. Doesn't make any sense to me. I mentioned an After Sounds video in his comments because he posted a video announcing the change. The reason why a lot of us in the community are salty right now is because the team is making a lot of strange, questionable policies or decisions, and not engaging the community in those decisions, or when they announce them, pre-announce them, they're not, updating them based on community input. So, if there's a wonder why there's salt in the salt mines, it's because, well, they're giving us lots of salt to mine. Shuni, welcome to the stream, welcome to the chat. Good to have you here. So Chuni is saying, yeah, I agree with this statement here, at least the first sentence here. Chuni believes that there are more plots than real players. And now remember, for land, there are 150,000 plots of land. And if you look at the daily active users on Peak Monsters, which includes obviously a lot of bots still, you can take a look-see here. Daily active accounts is 162,000 as of yesterday. 150,000 plots of land. I'm guessing a majority of those accounts there are bots. So yeah, I think that's a true statement. Chuni, that there are more plots of land than there are players in the game right now. Do I think when land does go live, all the expected cards will be taken off the market? People seem to be putting a lot of stock in that happening. Well, it really depends on what the return is on taking your cards off the market. That's the million-dollar question. And because they haven't announced any details of Phase 2.0 of land, we just don't know. And what I mean by that, the APR, is what are the items and spells going to sell for in the market? How many resources is it going to cost to create those items and spells? So you have a cost versus revenue proposition. So, for example, if a plot of land, in and of by itself probably can't produce an item or a spell, there's going to be multiple plots or multiple resources required. But let's say, just for simple purposes, if I have a single plot of land and it can create a spell just by itself, just to keep things very simple for argument's sake, if I have to put a max level summoner and max level monsters on that land instead of renting them, what is the cost, the opportunity cost of not renting those cards and putting it on land, and how much is that going to generate in spell revenue for me? Now, obviously in that example, it's pretty weak because, you could probably get cheap workers and reward cards and, but we know the system will be more complicated than that. So the net is the land will only be flooded with workers if the price of the items and spells make it so that it's more lucrative to put those workers on land rather than renting them out or playing with them. And that is going to be the million-dollar question, is we don't know what the market is going to look like for items and spells. We can assume that in the beginning it'll be quite lucrative because there'll be no items and spells initially, so the first ones created will sell for a good amount. But we'll have to see over time what that looks like, and a lot of unknowns. Lots have lost faith in Splinterlands and Town Hall FOMO, just not the same. Even MavChat has taken a hit. However, not selling personally, but lots of contacts are. Yeah, Military Dog, I mean, we're in the depths of the bear market here. And this is where things get tough. People are I think some people are either maybe exiting the game or transferring assets into DEC for Christmas deals, or maybe transferring assets into other things like GLX tokens or SPS or what have you. So you just never know. The sentiment in a bear market's probably never going to be that great, especially in extended bear markets. So, I would say that, your statement is probably very accurate. And, I think the thing with Splinterlands, at least for me personally, is I see the potential here of this game and how great it could be if everything, falls into place. Like, can you imagine if DEC got to peg after the first of this year and remained at peg and we started burning SPS? What that would do to the card market, the rental market, everything else? It would be quite amazing. DEC is roughly 0.8, right? 0.0008. So maybe after the Christmas sale, maybe it holds that, and maybe we get a push and a boost here in Q1, and maybe we can see peg. So, you know, when the game is firing on all cylinders and things are working well, you know, this could be a very, very lucrative place to be. The problem is right now, nodes are selling for like 700 and change. Earlier today, I saw like 793 or something. And the reason for that is, well, if we go to Hive Engine here, the reason why that is because, well, you know, SPS is, you know, 0.034 cents. You've got, you know, Chaos Legion packs dipping, you know, all the voucher prices dropping too. It's at 0.11. It was in single digits yesterday night. And nodes, for example, well, what does nodes pay? It pays you an SPS and vouchers. And if those prices are dipping, then node prices are dipping as well. But then again, if SPS was at like 10 cents and vouchers were at 60 cents, as an example, you know, then nodes would be popping and those would be, you know, selling for much more. So it's all relative. Things can turn around pretty quickly. You know, right now, there's fire sales in the market for cards. I just made a video on it, you know, over the weekend with our Twitch stream on Splinterlands TV. And I mean, there's just crazy deals. If you have capital, if you have assets to spend, or if you choose to spend them. Now, is it the bottom? One of the questions I got in the video comment from earlier today was, you know, aren't the card prices going to go lower with more people selling and more Chaos Legion packs coming on the market, and, you know, Untamed and Dice shifting out of the modern format? And the answer is, yeah, more than likely the card prices will continue to decline in this bear market with those aforementioned reasons. But at the same time, the question is, you know, are you looking to find the true bottom before buying, or are these prices low enough for you to dollar cost average into if you believe in the project? And for me personally, you know, if I had extra, you know, assets to reinvest, I would strongly consider, you know, some of these card values if I was looking, you know, if I thought that cards could recover in a bull market or in a bullish scenario for the game of Splinterlands. Because again, I'm not trying to time the market and find the perfect bottom. I'm, you know, if things go well, like if I can get Mirror Dampiers at 0.005 cents, which is well under the DEC peg burn, you know, do I care if it goes to 0.004 or 0.003 as an all-time low? No, because it's already under burn. And, you know, my goal, if I were to buy Tidebiters as an example, you know, whether I'm selling them in the future for 5 cents, you know, and I bought them for 0.005 or 0.003, doesn't really matter. The difference between like a, you know, a 10x and a 15x, do I really care? I'm perfectly fine with a 10x. I'm not going to, you know, split hairs over that necessarily. So let me catch up here on chat. Have I heard any feedback on the rumors about spellbooks being sold to bot farms last summer? Hindsight is 2020, but that could have been a major catalyst to where we are today. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any specific details. I don't think we ever necessarily will either. If there was a bulk deal or a volume deal, which Aggie has said, you know, the team makes regularly. If you come to the team with $100,000 of capital and want to buy spellbooks or Chaos Legion packs or Riftwatcher packs, you're going to get a discount. He's already said that. Is it published? No. Did it likely happen? I would think so. If I'm a bot farm and I'm automating the creation of those accounts, I'm going to Aggie and say, hey, just give me all the codes and keys. I'll wire you the money and give them to me for, you know, half off or whatever. I mean, if I was a smart bot farm owner, that's what I would do. I wouldn't pay $10 a spellbook. I'm buying 25,000 spellbooks. But you know, that's just me. So will we ever know if a backroom group sale or bulk discount was provided? Probably not. but you can probably bet that even if the team did not know that someone was buying 25,000 or 10,000 accounts for bots in mass before the purchase, they definitely knew after the purchase. When you wake up the next morning and see 10,000 spellbooks purchased with all kinds of goofy names, I'm pretty sure as a business owner, a savvy business owner at that, you pretty much know what's happening. And if you really were curious on a 10,000 spellbook purchase at $10 each, let's just say, that's $100,000. You could easily check the IP and see that all the purchases came from a single IP. So I don't think they were blind to the fact of what was going on. They probably knew what was happening for sure. They probably just ignored it or, used it as marketing and just ran with it instead of doing something about it. And we're here where we are, and look, nothing's changed. They're not preventing that behavior. They're certainly not encouraging it to continue with some of the changes that have been put in place, but they're not putting their foot down and saying this is our expectation of play in the game, and they're still bot neutral. They're not taking a side or a stance on something that has serious implications in the game. And again, if you watch my video, they're bending themselves in the pretzels trying to make rules and game changes that hurts real players because of that bot neutral stance. And, and I guess I would say they're not really bot neutral. They're really pro bot, because by not saying or doing anything, you're basically encouraging the behavior. So I guess we should say it's not really bot neutrality, but it's really more, bot acceptance. So that's kind of where we're at, and that's why we have the reward card issue that we have in the Chaos Legion burn because of the number of packs. Chuni's saying there's still a lot of skin in the game even with the team, so there are reasons why we are still here next year at this time other than a bear market. Okay. Bots and tourneys is a much more sensitive topic than I realized it was. Seems like bots and ranked are okay. There are opportunities for outside parties to figure out bot-free tourneys if the team does not want to make that happen in the game. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely tournament purists out there that would not like to see bots in tournaments or brawls. That's true. Lighter topic for Chuni here. Do I like the new music on the site with today's update? I haven't even had a chance to listen to the music on the site. I've been actually out all day today, and then I had to reimage my PC. So I have not even had a chance to go on the site after the maintenance window. So I could not say. How do you turn the music down? I'm guessing there's audio settings under your profile, right? I'm guessing here. Under settings, there's probably... Hopefully they built in some settings to adjust the audio or turn it off, the music or something like that. I haven't honestly played with it, so I'm not sure. Unfortunately, I have not... I do not have an answer for that yet. But if there isn't a function to do that yet, there likely will be in the future. I'm sure they'll get it added. Okay. Yeah, I'm still renting out my cards, so I'm not really playing this season yet. I can, if you give me a second. Is it audio volume in the settings? Okay. Thanks, Icyflow. And Icyflow, welcome to the stream. Let me log in to my alt account here. Let's take a look. Let's take a look what Archmage is doing here on this account. Oh, you know what? I don't have the keys for that account on this new PC. So there we go. We cannot look at that, unfortunately. Gotta love re-imaging. Fun times, fun times. So Chuni is asking, how focused am I relative to a new capital injection for Splinterlands, the company, as far as the news on if they're going to get extra money or extra runway? I think it's important for sure. I don't think we're going to get any updates or information from the team until something is signed and confirmed, though. And even if something did happen, they may not necessarily want to share that with the broader community necessarily. It's hard to say. Steve, welcome to the stream. Steve keeps buying stuff. Yeah, I bought some stuff as well. I've actually made some pretty large card purchases recently for myself. I mean, probably I splurged. I shouldn't. So I bought a Hydra and I bought a Diamond Dragon. So did I need those cards? I mean, I didn't have them, so I would like to use them. But did I need them? I mean, probably not. But yeah, so we let me see, I'm still trying to load the game here, sorry. Having problems with my Hive keychain. Wow. Alright, the game's broken for me now. Not sure what happened there. Try one more thing. So I have maybe a question for those of you out there that are using the Brave browser. I am using Brave now, switching over from Chrome, and I haven't got a single ad today. And I don't know how long it takes to start generating ads. I find it very strange. But that's a separate topic, I suppose. Stock Jockeys here in the house. Welcome to the stream. Uncle Aggie will make you rich. Let me switch back over. Sorry, guys and girls. The game is not cooperating for me right now. Jackie, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Chuni's asking, did anyone see the CLP pool monster Mav Neil has put together for the Christmas sale? Yeah. So we had on After Sounds stream earlier today, we had Gene from YGG talking about the YGG pool, and the minimum there is 100 packs, or I guess that's what, 400,000 DEC. Or you can actually go on to Hive Engine and you can buy CLP, which is Neil McSpadden's group buy, and we can take a look at this here. So Neil's CLP tokens, I think, are selling for 2,700 DEC. Is this right, Steve? I know you're participating in this, right? So Steve would have more of the details, but I think it's 2,700 DEC equivalent for one CLP token, which gives you access to one Chaos Legion pack plus the DEC residuals from the group buy under Neil. So you can buy as little as one pack or as many as you want so it's a little bit more flexible, whereas the YGG has a minimum roughly of 100 packs. I have to opt into ads when I set up my Uphold account. Okay, maybe I'll have to check Uphold, because I opted into ads on Brave, but I don't know if I did that on Uphold, so that might be the issue, Steve, so I'll check that. Thank you. Neil dropped more info on his group buy. They have a buyer for the guild hall. Excellent. Under the drop-down menu in Brave, go to Brave Rewards, turn it on and restart. Okay, maybe I just need to restart the browser window. That could be it too, I see. And here's what's funny. So there's, in the US, there's 2 wallets essentially that you can link to Brave to earn BAT tokens. It's Uphold and Gemini. And literally before FTX, I think most people would probably use Gemini, you know, the Winklevoss twins there. But with FTX, and I think that they lost 900 million through FTX. I think that was the number. I forget how many million it was. But, you know, you just never know. You know, if you didn't have an account on Gemini, would you really want to create one today? And if you created one, how secure would your funds be? You just never know. This is the world we live in crypto right now. It's crazy. You get them on the site for 2,700 DUC. Okay. So there's the CLP site, Steve, that's separate from Hive Engine. If you want, go ahead and drop the link. Oh, yeah, Chuni, actually today, we don't have, so I did set it up initially as a member-only chat, but when YouTube went live, it went live to the public. So it's not a members-only chat this week for us for the stream. I just opened it up to everyone just because I didn't want to restart the stream. So, you know, we get a lot more conversation this week, today and this week. But yeah, if you are interested in the membership, there is an option on the YouTube channel, and we do membership streams here, specifically focused on, you know, member questions and stuff like that. So Steve is saying that with CLP, you get a pack, the promo cards, and the DEC residuals. Chuni moved everything to Trezor Hardware wallet last week off the exchange. Very smart. Yeah, the private chats, we can get into a lot of detail, and I can definitely go into more specifics sometimes on what I'm personally doing, but certainly not financial advice ever. It's only financial advice, as Aftersound would say, because yeah, we're not a financial advisor. And yeah, we got here loaded back into the game. That's good. Took a little while. So now I know we just did a lot of streams on Splinterlands TV this weekend, but yeah, I figured we'd just chat tonight. If there's any other questions that came up since the town hall, we talked a little bit about the GLX staking earlier, for pack staking going live. We talked a little bit about Archimus, the promo card. It's going to be interesting. Again, if I were to guess today, right here, right now, I would have to probably say, I don't know. I don't know if they do another neutral card. I would think common sense would be they would do a neutral or a dragon card for the promo, just to make it more ubiquitous. But like a 12 mana neutral card like that, whether it's a common or a rare, would seem to be pretty powerful. If we look at Rift Watchers as an example, Rift Watcher neutrals, the Coral Lurker is 11 mana neutral taunter. So there is precedence that Archimus might be a neutral, similar to the Coral Lurker. But that would be pretty powerful. I could see it being Earth, maybe. Earth would make sense from a Splinter perspective. But then if you go to the promo cards, what's interesting, if you look at the promo cards, there's 6 that are neutral, there's 12 that are dragon, and each Splinter besides Death has 2 from the beta days. And only Waka was the only Splinter specific promo card that has been reduced or introduced in the modern era. So definitely it would look to be dragon or neutral just based on the recent promo cards. But maybe they shake things up and maybe they drop Archimus into Earth. Never know. We'll have to see. Stock Jockey's asking, did anybody ask Aggie about the funding for the game? I don't think that topic came up, Stock Jockey, actually on the town hall. At least I don't remember it coming up specifically. So I don't think it was addressed, at least. But I could have just a bad memory there. Icy Flow thinks the sale has soured some people. After the layoff announcements, Aggie said no new products, then immediately launched this promotion. Yeah. So here's the thing, Icy, and it's an interesting comment. I forget who's the proponent. It might be iHorus, I think, on Aftersound stream, but has basically come out and said, stop having the town halls because the town halls just introduce so much change weekly that it's hard to keep up. So one town hall, Aggie says no more sales, no more money being spent, per se, like packs for tower defense or GLG or Rift Watchers or Splinterfest or Lux or whatever, right? And then, like you said, the next week we have the Christmas sale rolled out, and now everyone's spending hundreds, thousands, maybe more dollars on cards again. And at some point, to your I guess to what you're saying there is, how much money do the current Splinterlands people have to keep recycling into the game before there's nothing left? And this is why the cards, like if you go onto the card markets, this is why if you just search legendary legendary cards here, this is why all these cards are selling, like Fallen Spectre for $8 a BCX. You've got I picked up Diamond Dragons for like 10. You've got all these cards. You got Krakens at 16. You've got gold foil Jared Scars at 18. You got tons of these meta cards that are just being dumped on the market because people have nothing left to sell, to buy whatever the next big thing is. So I think that's what we're seeing is, people are their pockets are starting to get empty if they're not already empty, and they're starting to cannibalize their existing assets to try and find ways to pay for some of this stuff. So yeah, I think that's probably accurate. Aggie mentioned the Halfling Alchemist, so having ability is possible. It would be interesting. Like I would find it strange that a 12 mana bear would have a halving ability, but I mean, I suppose it's possible. It probably wouldn't make sense. I think it might have been on Aftersound stream today. They were talking about, if they're making it a salty bear, how it could have blind from the salts. Was one of them poison from salt in the wounds, and then maybe like some other melee abilities like piercing or enrage or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if they're gonna make it a theme, they might make some salt based ability themes, who knows. So we'll have to see. Smoke Lord, welcome to the stream. Indeed, that promo sale dropped the ball big time. They should have rewarded the loyal players, small or big, like a buy 3, get 1 free deal. Yeah, makes sense. Doesn't need to always be whale only. Yeah, I mean, I would say that you do have the option of participating in the CLP group buy or the YGG group buy. CLP is 1 pack per, or YGG is 100 pack minimum. But yeah, I agree. I mean, you shouldn't necessarily have to go to a group buy to take advantage of it. It should be in the store, ideally, for everyone to take advantage of. But that's I don't think ever happened. So I guess it probably wasn't meant to happen on a last minute sale either, unfortunately. Steve is almost out of free money, but hasn't put in outside money into crypto for over a year. Yeah, I mean, actually says quite a bit, Steve. I mean, you know, you're part of the EMP project as well, so you're getting funds from that on a daily basis, plus the rental income. So, you know, if you're saying that you're almost out of free money, that's a warning sign for sure. I don't think many have had that luxury the last year. And if your pockets are starting to run empty on the fuel, that says actually quite a bit, I think. What do I think will be the price of the next legendary airdrop? They seem to come in around $30. Yeah, I mean, Yasik was holding like $25 up until this last week. So I think $30 is definitely reasonable. I would say even with the current downtrending market, seeing as people will be probably rushing to get some of those, I think $30 to $25 is likely where it ends up within 24 hours after it becomes available. You might have some of the large group buys like the CLP dumping literally dozens of them on the market, which could drive the price down. But again, who knows? I mean, because at the town hall, we did not get any information on the legendary summoner. We did not get any information on the Christmas promo card, but we did get information on the Rift Watcher airdrop, which is, well, of those 3 cards, the last one that's going to actually be playable in the game. So, go figure. Yeah. Kind of a little backwards there, I guess. The article made it sound like more than 1 promo coming. I don't know. I'm only aware of Archimus for the Christmas sale promo. I'm not aware of any others at this time. Article, new promo cards with every pack. Yeah. Maybe that was an error in the title, adding an extra S. I don't know. I guess I hadn't noticed that or paid attention to that, Military Dog, but that's a good catch. If there are multiple promos, I would be surprised because I don't think I've heard that anywhere else. So maybe it was just a typo in the Peak D article, but you never know. The way those group buys are set up echo a securitizations. That to me makes this game look like a DeFi project even more versus a game. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because group buys are not necessarily an unheard of thing for things like Kickstarters, or I know like back in the day when I was, be a part of like, car communities and stuff, they would do group buys with vendors to buy, a bulk discount of, parts for cars and stuff, performance parts, what have you. And I know it's not directly translatable to games or DeFi or anything like that, but I mean, group buys in communities is not something new. I mean, the amount of money being exchanged is probably different because, you know, for group buys dealing with vendors for performance parts is you would just get the pricing of the bulk pricing and place your order directly with the vendor. You wouldn't send your crypto or your money to a third party that then paid for the items and dispersed them. So from that perspective, it's different for sure. You definitely have to be more trusting in that case. You know, these group buys are not small potatoes. Like, we're talking like $250,000 is roughly what the YGG group buy will be handling, I think, at the end of the day. You know, $250,000, a community sending $250,000 to a stranger they've never met in person necessarily. It's kind of scary. Kind of scary. I mean, now, I don't think YGG is going anywhere with that money, or I think, you know, Gene and Josie are stand-up folks, and, you know, I don't think there's going to be any issues, but, you know, I'm just saying it's a lot of money. So, you know, just keep that in mind. The issuance of CLP. Yeah. CLP, XCAS, the tokens. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I assume that Neil, being a tax guy, has his bases covered from that perspective. You know, for taking in money or creating the tokens and stuff like that. I don't know specifics on any of that necessarily. So I would defer that to the experts. The Military Dog is saying the group buy that they did for tracks still hasn't been distributed. Group buys have drawbacks. Yeah. But, you know, the good news is you were able to get in on discount pricing, you know, during the tracked sale. So I know it's been a long time coming, but it looks like, you know, help is on the horizon. You should be able to, you know, take those tracks and break those down into plots here as part of the .50 land release. That may actually happen here before the end of the year, potentially next week. I don't know if that'll happen, but it could. According to Farpatrod, the 0.50 of land has been in QA testing internally. So maybe they are comfortable with rolling it out next Tuesday. And let's talk a little bit about land, because that's a good topic, Military Dog. I have plots of land, and I honestly don't know what I'm going to do if 0.5 is released here in December or even January, because I have a tract and I don't know, and I have a couple plots, and we don't know details on location. We don't know details on travel. You know, there's just so many unknowns to land on how it's going to work and what's the optimal strategy. You know, how do you maybe maximize your chances of getting a chance at a keep? You know, it's assumed that if you're, you know, trading in a plot for a location, that you're in a tract that, a tract or a region that doesn't have a castle or keep assigned, so you should have a chance at that lottery ticket. Well, there's just too many unknowns. You know, I don't want to make a bad decision and unveil all my tracts or my tract and all my plots at the same time. Come to figure out I'm in the middle of a desert and all of my land has the exact same trait. Like, it'd be like minting a Rooney, like minting 4 Roonies in the Rooney mint, and they all have the same head or the same weapon or same body. And you're kind of going, well, that's not a good body or head. And you're kind of stuck with it. You know, you've watched my videos probably on RNG seeding and what that does to battles and what it does to Roonies. You can only imagine what it could do to land. So, you know, I'm a little hesitant. I'm a little gun shy, honestly. I don't want him to be the first in and making mistakes when it comes to land unveiling. So we need a lot more data. And I don't think one town hall is going to answer all the questions. So I got to be honest with at least, you out there in the audience today, is if they unveiled land 0.5 next Tuesday, I'm probably sitting on my tract and my plots and not doing anything until I figure out the specifics on travel costs or travel times in land and region, results. I'm going to let other people go in front of me and see what it looks like. Now, the other thing is, we don't know because you're only getting location. So with 0.5, you only get location. You're not going to unveil rarity. You're not going to unveil type. You're not going to unveil, if you have occupied lands. So I don't know. I think it might be prudent to be patient there, and we'll have to see. Chuni's asking, do I think the plots that are not revealed go up in price? Are they worth more as lotto tickets? I believe that the plots after the Christmas sale purchases are all in, plots should go up along with land .5. Now, I don't think, because rarity will not be determined, because you won't know anything but location on a map, I don't think any plots will go down necessarily in price because we don't know the rarity or the type yet. So I think there's going to be a period of potentially FOMO where people are like, hey, this is the last chance for land before, we figure stuff out. This is the last lotto chance. So there could be an uptick there. Now, once land is unveiled, this is the big question. The big question becomes is once 1.0 comes out and once everyone goes through and unveils their land and they figure out if they have a common desert, for example, the question will be is what do people value a common desert, whatever it is perceived to be the worst type of land, because no one knows. Because they already have said that the 2.0 game mechanics of land themselves haven't been determined. They don't know how totems are going to work. They don't know how runes are going to work. They don't know what land will be producing. How rare it will be in the grand scheme of things across all the plots. So you might get a common desert, and it might come to be that a common desert produces something that's valuable to produce an item or spell that's meta. And maybe there's not as many common deserts as there are common plains. So there could be an opportunity, that you could give up or sell something that you feel is not of value. And in reality, when we get the details of land 2.0, it could be very valuable. So again, anything with land, when you don't have the details for 1.0 and 2.0, any sales or purchases you are doing, just realize it is all speculation. You are rolling the dice, and you can and likely will not make an optimal decision. That's just the facts. And the one way to avoid that is just to buy and hodl land and let it play out. Let it, don't be impatient. Don't flip land. Just hold and see what happens. And once all the details come out, you might be happy with what you have or what you're holding. That's just kind of my take. I mean, the other thing here that's crazy, and I know no one wants to talk about it, but there's a lot of landholders on the Splinterlands staff. You've got Cryptomancer, you've got Briarbro, you've got, a lot of folks that have regions and tracks and a lot of land belong to the Splinterlands team. And I know no one wants to talk about this or, think that people might do strange things, but, money makes people do strange things, let's be honest. And if I'm working on land, and I'm part of the team, even if I'm maybe not working on the land project itself, I know they try and compartmentalize that, but there is a chance for insider trading and insider information. And it's possible, let's say you're in a guild called, Splinterlands Fam, right? And maybe you're a tier 2 guild. You're probably not getting the same information that Immortal Gods guild members are getting around land. And that's just a fact. There's probably information and back channels happening at some levels of the game for OG players that they might get information before you or I get information. And there's no SEC here. There's no regulation. There's no one policing what's happening with information like that might get out or get leaked through back channels. And even if it was discovered that someone knew about a something within land that could be profitable, and even if it was proven that someone went out and took that information and bought a bunch of stuff, totems or Rooney or specific types of land, there's nothing that you or I could do about it. Because this is the wild, wild west in Splinterlands. And I'm just being honest with you. If someone took inside information and used it to profit off of you or I, nothing's going to happen to that individual. There's not going to be any penalties. There's not going to be any repercussions. They're just going to make money. And that's where we're at. And it's a risk. It's honestly a risk of the game, the integrity of the game. I'm not saying that's happened in the past. My guess is it probably has to some degree with other cards or releases. But it's just part of the game right now. And just be aware of that as you play in the sandbox that, insider trading happens on Wall Street all the time. But, if you're caught, there are actually repercussions in that. There's not here. So. What price per plot do I think they would have charged if they released land now? In a bear market, I don't know, Icy Flow. I mean, maybe $100, given where crypto has been over the last year. But again, as Chuni mentioned, there's more plots of land than there are players in the game. So $100 for a plot of land seems expensive, even now. Let's say there's 20,000 players of Splinterlands, 150,000 plots of land. Each player would have to essentially buy, what is that, roughly over 7 plots of land per player at $100 a piece. So most players probably wouldn't have $750 to buy land. So that would be the interesting equation. Steve is saying all we get is location for 0.5. Steve has 2 tracks, and it's like, do I go for 2 at once for 20% at a castle, but both in the same area, or do one then the other, less shot for castle but different areas? Yeah, that is the dilemma, Steve. We don't know what the optimal play is because we don't know what the location truly means, and we won't know until 1.0 to the unveiling of the land itself. So it's really just a guess, unless they provide more details. Gathering the Magic, welcome to the stream. Gathering the Magic is saying all land he thinks can build 4 different buildings. All should be able to build crafting buildings. Yeah, Gathering the Magic, I know on your channel you've done a lot of research on land, talking about what it could look like and doing some analysis there. So if anyone's curious about the land topic and how that could all play out, Gathering the Magic's channel here on YouTube has a lot of content around that specific topic. Potions for land changes stuff a lot. In theory, my track should have 2% legendary, 8% epic, 15% rare, 75% common, but potions would change that a lot. Yeah, and the question is how much, if you were to buy 200 potions for your 2 tracks, in reality it would be 600 potions, because they're said, at least in Mav chat, that there'll be a potion for rarity, a potion for occupied, like essence, and there might even be a potion that influences the type of land. So each plot may require 3 potential potions. So for 2 tracks, if you have to buy 600 potions, how much are those potions for land going to sell for? If those potions for land cost, 10,000 DEC, which is like $10 a potion, right? That's going to be expensive, because then now you're looking at 30,000 DEC potentially for a plot of land times 600. That's 18 million DEC. 18 million DEC is what, right now at current pricing, like $13,500. Like I don't know how much the potions might cost, but if there are 3 potions, and let's just say they are $10 each, that's almost $14,000 to unveil your land. and what if you want to wait for potions but you don't have $14,000? Do you not unveil your land? Now, granted, if the potions are only $1 a piece, well then it's only, well, it's not only, but it's $1,350 at that point. But that's $1,350 that you could buy, 10 max level Chaos Legion summoners to work your land. So if you're a landowner, the costs, could be very expensive. And again, we don't know how much you will make as a landowner by upgrading buildings and putting monsters on land. So, before buying lots of summoners and potions and buildings, we need to see the economy. We need to see the marketplace, and we need to understand, how much is the daily revenue for items and spells, and how much does it cost to create them? Because in theory, land could soak up a lot of DEC or monsters, but if the cost to put those monsters on your land and stake your monsters in cards to the land and buy the DEC for the buildings is more cost than it would be to get a return on those assets that you would sell, then it could backfire in that, just like Riftwatcher packs are sitting in the market, even though they're worth $4.40 or whatever and holding their value, no one's buying them because the cost is too high. So, land could be a savior of the game, but it could also be a dud. And, if you think there's salty sentiment now, if land is not done properly, yikes. Could be really good, could also be really not good. Chunies thinks there's a lot of Rooney holders on the staff as well. Yep. Gathering the magic. If someone has a region and they reveal their castle, they could sell the rest and no one would know. They can't get a castle on any of those plots. Yes, that is true. That is absolutely true. Yeah, I mean, a region holder could just unveil their region until they pull 1 castle and 9 keeps and then sell all the plots. Right? That would probably be the smart thing to do. I mean, if you unveil a region, is basically unveil it till you get your 1 castle and 9 keeps, and then once you've got your 9th keep, you could sell everything else at that point, and knowing that there's no jackpot in there. Now there might be some legendary land or some epic land that you're giving up, but no castles or keeps. So that's absolutely true. Well, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Well, you say there's repercussions for Wall Street. There isn't really. Someone takes the fall and the major company just gets a slap on the wrist. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. I mean, there's there is prison time, you know, on the table for someone who's the scapegoat, right? But not for everyone. I guess Martha Stewart is an example of that, right? Stock jockey. Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, we don't usually go live on YouTube unless we're doing it for members of the channel. But, you know, if you guys would like to do more live streams in the future, we can certainly schedule some of those. It's not a big deal. We usually go live on Twitch, but I know not everyone is on Twitch. So, happy to do so, you know, not a problem. Shuni. Someone asked Aggie during the town hall if potions are a form of tax on plots, and I think he somewhat agreed. Yeah, we're already taxing land. Oh, that's not good. But, I mean, the game, you know, more DEC sinks, probably not bad for the non-landholders in the game, because if all the landholders start sinking DEC into their land, well, then everyone else that doesn't hold land benefits. So they sold land much cheaper originally. No way the potion is 10,000 DEC. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, who knows? Who knows what the potions would be? I mean, I think the max would be 10,000 DEC. 10,000 DEC was mentioned in Mav Chat, Steve. That's the only reason I bring it up. Maybe a more reasonable cost would be 1,000 DEC. Is probably more reasonable as a, quote, land tax. But, you know, who knows? We never know. I mean, if you looked at the GLG pack pricing for the general sale, it's like $12 a pack for 5 cards as an example. So you never know. You never know what they might price it. The best plots will be occupied since they produce essences. Don't get too caught up with rarity. Yep, that is a good point. Gathering the magic, and one that you've mentioned on your videos on your channel. So again, if you want to learn about essences and the monsters on land and how that could potentially be very valuable, Gathering the Magic has a good channel on YouTube talking about that. Chuni saying, okay, do more on YouTube than Twitch. Yeah, I don't do this for the money, Chuni. I just do it for the community. We're here to have fun and learn. So no one's getting rich off YouTube on Splinterlands. It's too small to do that. Steve saying 100 DEC times 3 times 150,000 is still big burn. 45 million. 1,000 DEC per potion is 150 million DEC. 10,000 would be, yeah, a lot. Yeah, agreed. But they do want to burn lots of DEC, so you never know. And, you know, the question is what would region or tract owners pay for a potion increased chance? I mean, people are paying 150 DEC per gladiator card for bloodstones right now, right? So, I mean, a gladiator or gladius case is costing what, 750 DEC for a gladius case for rarity potions, basically. So 1,000 DEC for a plot of land is a bargain. That's why I say, Steve, I think 10,000 may be in their range of consideration. Just compare what they're charging for bloodstones for 5 gladiator cards and imagine what they would charge for a plot of land. Yeah, Gathering the Magic. Yeah, it's this surprise stream for myself as well. We were just actually going to launch it for the members of the channel, but YouTube set it public, so public it is. So here we are. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for hanging out, Gathering the Magic. Catch the replay, and yeah, we're all hoping for a strong finish to December here in 2022 in Splinterlands. Icy Flow owns 0 plots. Yeah, you know, Icy, I think you're going to be able to do just fine renting if you're curious, if you want to dabble in that fashion. I think renting is going to be a big thing, especially for region or tract owners. Like, I'm a tract owner. I have nowhere near the cards I need to work 100 plots. Like, I barely have enough cards to play in champion. So, I can't spare cards for 100 plots. So more than likely I will be renting out, pieces of my tract, because in reality, like, if I look at my summoners, like right now, I mean, I can maybe have like 6 summoners that I could put on land, but what about the other 94 plots of land? I don't have 94 other max level summoners, just sitting in my collection doing nothing. Like, if I have a Kelia, I need to use Kelia in ranked battles or in brawls or in tournaments, and I don't have multiple max level Kelias. So I think renting is going to be a big thing for landholders. I think a lot of folks will rent out land, and there'll be a lot of opportunities for people that don't own land to rent it. So I think that's a perfectly viable and sound strategy, ICFlow. And I think that should probably work out pretty well. Steve is saying that once you got the castle, you would sell at that point. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what a castle does, what a keep does. We just assume they're valuable because of the rarity, but we have no idea. Like, let's be honest. What's the value of a castle in land? What does it provide? What does it do? No one knows. We can only guess. We can only guess it's going to be valuable. We can only guess it's going to influence the region or the tract in the production, but we have no idea. And so because of that, we have no idea if that castle is worth $20,000, $2,000. Who knows? Who knows what it's worth at the end of the day, because we don't have the game mechanics. Again, land is a very much a speculative play in Splinterlands right now. There's no solid details, and the team will tell you right now they haven't even defined the 2.0 game mechanics for land at this point. So anything you decide today, well, is pure 100% speculation. Smokelord had 100 plots at one point, but sold them. Made about $50 per plot. Wow. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, definitely. The timing on that may not have been seemed ideal at the time, Smokelord, but it looks like it's definitely worked out well thus far. Because worst case scenario, if you did have buyer's remorse, you could come in now and get them for a lot cheaper, right? Chuni thinks that DEC getting to peg helps the company's balance sheet, which is important. The only benefit in the flywheel for players is SPS burning. Yeah, I mean, if DEC gets to peg and stays at peg, it stabilizes the rental market and the card market, and then gives uplift to SPS at that point continuously. And over time, that just continuously builds value. Of course, SPS will still inflate, but over time, because there's a finite supply of SPS, all SPS burned just makes the remaining SPS more valuable over time. So that's kind of where it goes. It's not like it's going to happen overnight, but long term it should be beneficial. Astro Robots, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Good to virtually see you in the stream. Steve, his math was so bad there. No worries. 100 DEC, it's 45 million. 1,000, it's 450 million. 10,000 is 4.6 billion. Yeah. Yeah, well, I think the latest numbers are there's like 6.29 billion DEC right now in existence before any SPS burn. So yeah, if they wanted to put pressure on DEC to get to peg, pricing it at 10,000 could definitely do it. Would the landholders revolt and go on strike? Possibly, but it would definitely uplift DEC in the process. Icy Flow, the Bloodstones are too expensive. It costs $18 per legendary. Yeah, that's expensive. Will is getting dibs on renting from me, for sure. Yep. I'm sure there'll be opportunities, unfortunately for me, but good for you. Steve just opened a gold foil Torrent Fiend. Nice. Very nice. How much are those selling for right now, Steve? Gold foil legendary fiends? Have they gone down in value below $20? I know for a while they were a hot commodity. Let's see. Legendary gold foil fiends are Torrent Fiends $27. So they're still up there in price. That's not bad. Not bad. Torrent Fiend seems to be the most desirable, other than the speed from the Soul Fiend. So you got the Soul Fiend here with the swiftness at $29. You got the Torrent Fiend just because it's water, not necessarily because of the headwinds, but just because it's water at 27. Fungus Fiend with slow is at 26. Silence is at 24. And then you've got Scorch Fiend with Demoralize at 23. Strange that the Scorch Fiend is the lowest price. I mean, Demoralize works pretty well in the mirror match against fire versus fire. So if you were to level that up to max level at Diamond Champion, Demoralize is pretty nice. It could just be a reflection at the lower levels that fire still is not as popular a splinter as maybe life or water. Just because, well, the only legendary summoners we have right now are water and life. So that might make the most sense for the lower levels, bronze, silver, etc. And thanks, Steve, for the shout out there on Twitter. Appreciate that. Land 2024? I don't think so. I mean, I think they were saying, Farpatrol was saying in Mav chat that Land 1.0, you know, may happen here early 2023. I guess it just depends on how long it takes them to develop the mechanics for Land. Because let's be honest, the complexity of Land is not the map or the location or the unveiling of an NFT on a map. The complexity of Land is Land 2.0, which is the DeFi mechanics. Basically, it's like creating, like if anyone's familiar with the Rune token or Thor swap, it's basically creating a DeFi platform within the game, you know, moving, using DEC as like the equivalent of the US dollar, and moving, you know, things like wood or ore or essences, you know, being the equivalent of Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, whatever on Thor swap. So it is not a small undertaking. Just to put it into perspective, if anyone's followed crypto, like the Thor swap project or Rune, I mean, it's been in development for years and it's still not functionally viable, I don't think, at this point in time. So, you know, that is a significant development effort. And to IC's point, I mean, it could be 2024, even though we unveil Land and do all that stuff early this year. You know, what they're doing is, I mean, technically, truly innovation, and it requires a lot of design focus. Again, if you mess up the design and the numbers, similar to the Chaos Legion pack print rate, if you mess that up, it's bad news. So you do not want to mess that up, and you want to test it and you want to scale it appropriately. Because remember, there's not going to be any more land supposedly in the game. So you get one shot, and as Eminem would say, don't blow it, right? So Steve sold around 10 plots in the 500 to 700 area. Yeah, that's good money. That is good money. If you had, let's say, $5,000 to $7,000 and put it into the Christmas sale for YGG, just as an example, let's just take $7,000. $7,000 and you bought fiat and change that into DEC right now. And then you bought in the YGG pre-sale. I'm just doing the math here on the side. That would be 2,333 packs before the bonus. And then you get on top of that. So $7,000 in fiat today would be 4,433 Chaos Legion packs with the YGG bonus, in addition to 4,433 promo cards, plus all the airdrops, guaranteed airdrops, plus the DEC residuals for anything that's sold for Rooney and excess airdrops. Now, you want to know why people are upset with the Christmas sale? Do you know what $7,000 would buy you in the general sale last January? $7,000 would not buy you 4,433 packs, plus all the other bonuses. $7,000, if you were lucky, would buy you 1,750 packs. So you're basically, I mean, you can't even compare the two. You know, again, another reason why it doesn't make sense to participate in a pre-sale if you're going to hold the packs. If you're going to open them and use them, or open them and resell them, sure. If you're going to hold the packs, do not buy in a pre-sale. History has basically proven that that's a mistake from an opportunity cost perspective. Yeah, you can flip the gold foil Torrent Fiend into some cheap summoners. Yeah, I can probably get almost 27 BCX of a Chaos Legion summoner right now for that one card. Nothing wrong with that. Astro Robot's thinking about selling a gold foil Coral Lurker. The new tree monster destroys it. Yeah. So that's a very good point, Astro Robot. And I was going to create a video on this, but I don't have the stats. I can't pull it up for the Ancient Redwood. But basically, the reason why I think they made the stats for the Ancient Redwood the way they did and put it in Earth is because there's a counter in Earth with the Mycelic Slip Spawn with Force Field. So anytime you can play the Ancient Redwood, you also have technically the option to play the Mycelic Slip Spawn. So that's kind of the balancing factor there. Anytime you have Earth available, you obviously have both of those cards available to play. But yeah, things like Agor Longtail and Coral Lurker, who are dominant in the meta today, become almost a liability with the Ancient Redwood on the table. So if you see green as playable, you don't want to necessarily play Coral Lurker. If you're a Coral Lurker dodge team with Enrage, with Skargor, or just, you know, with Yasek's speed, anytime you see Dragon or Earth available, you'll be thinking twice about using Coral Lurker. And I would say in most cases, you probably would not want to use Coral Lurker, because your hard counters for that team are Kitty and the Ancient Redwood. So just be aware of that from a meta perspective. And the reason why I bring up the Mycelic Slip Spawn is because, you know, you could very much see a team now that uses the Mycelic Slip Spawn in front of something like an Agor Longtail, right? So you could see a team that might consist of, for example, Mycelic Slip Spawn in the first position, Agor Longtail in the second position, Oshur with the Resurrect and the Tank Heal in the third position, followed up by something like an Ancient Redwood, and you'd have two other cards you probably want to cleanse, like maybe like a Diamond Dragon in the back. So you could have a Diamond Dragon in the 6th spot with Ancient Redwood with Reflection Shield and that Fury and 6 damage in the 5 position. And then you could put something like a, you know, maybe something cheap like a Goblin Psychic with a 3rd heal and a Affliction in that, you know, 4 spot to save mana. But the reason why I talk about that team is because what that team does is it counters the Ancient Redwood on the other side with Mycelic Slip Spawn. It basically makes the other Ancient Redwood on the other side just slam into Mycelic Slip Spawn with, if you didn't have Kitty, you would still have 2 heals there. If you had Kitty, you would have 3 heals with a cleanse. So basically making that Mycelic Slip Spawn just soak up all the fire while the rest of your team goes to work. Now, obviously, you could put a Chaos Dragon in there instead of the third heal of the Goblin Psychic to give Scatter Shot and give more flexibility if you had the mana. But I think you see a lot more teams going with some of that that counter play with Ancient Redwood. So that's just my take on it. We'll see how the meta plays itself out. But I could definitely see some of my modern team compositions being altered with the introduction of that card. And I think if you are playing at Diamond and Champion, it's a must-have card, just because of what it can do to taunting tanks on the other side. So did I get any more feedback about the 17,000 SPS transaction? You saw it was mentioned in Mav chat. Any info on who the A team is? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who the team is. I can only share, things that we find on the blockchain. And yeah, they pulled $420,000 out of the game recently at the beginning of November. And that's $17,000. And I find it funny how the bot defenders and operators in Mav chat say, oh, you don't know how much the bots spend, in the game, and you don't know, if they take money out of the game. Well, I say to them, yeah, we do know that they take money out of the game. Here's an example. And we do know how much they spend because we can look at all their accounts and see that they rent cards and not buy cards. And we can go to their holding accounts and see all the cards they're dumping on the market and see all the revenue that they're getting. So don't call us and think we're dumb and say, oh, the bot farms are not bad and, you don't understand. We understand what we see and the data that we pull off the blockchain. And it's an open invitation. I've said it time and time again. And every time I say it, I get crickets from the bot defenders. And I say, if a bot farm owner wants to come on stream like with us here today, and they want to talk about their bot farm operations and share what they do, why they do it, how they're good for the economy, how they give back to the community, how they produce content for Splinterlands, how they participate in Mav chats and help the community, how they sponsor tournaments, how like the presidential circuit, or how they give away prizes like Steve does on Splinterlands TV. Until they come on stream and talk about that stuff, I don't want to hear anyone telling me how cool and how great the bot farmers are. It's just not the case until they show themselves to be different than what we can see on the blockchain. And that's all I'll say about that before I get a little too heated. So Will is saying if this was a general sale, you sold all packs even with the current amount of DEC and vouchers. Okay. I think that's what that says. Steve is probably not going to do the Rebellion pre-sale. Yeah, I mean, it's historically proven not to be a good decision. Even the recent GLG pack sale, if you participate in the GLG pack sale instead of buying GLX tokens on the open market, you got screwed. You literally lost a ton of money if you put money into GLG packs that you could have instead put into the GLX token. And I'm guilty as charged. I took Splinterlands for their word, invested in GLG packs for the pack staking option, and I'm sitting here doing nothing with my GLG packs. I can't sell them, I can't stake them, I can't earn anything with them. And by the time staking goes live tomorrow, perhaps, I still have to wait a week before I can get any staking rewards. And by that time, the GLX token APR will be below 500%, which is a fraction of what it has been. So another reason why absolutely you should not participate in pre-sales with Splinterlands assets. Dwayne, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, for sure. First time caller, long time listener. Absolutely. Good to see you in the stream. Sorry you came in with me salt mining there. You can add me to the next salt mine episode. I'm sure I've definitely had my share of salty comments recently. And look, everyone who's out there who's followed me and who knows me knows I'm a straight shooter. Like, I will tell you when things are great and good, and I will tell you when things are not so great. And you probably saw during the month of November, I didn't create a lot of YouTube content. And the reason for that, if I'm going to be honest with you, is I didn't have a lot of great things to say because there were a lot of decisions, proposals, and communications that the team was making that I didn't necessarily agree with, or I had concerns over. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely been some challenges lately, I will say. Hopefully things get better, hopefully things get back on track, but I do feel the team has been disconnected from parts of the community recently, and not necessarily engaging in Discord conversations when there's ample opportunity for conversations in Mav chat, in the proposal channels on Discord, in the GLS Discord. But the team does not want to engage in conversations. They just want to post their proposals as pre-proposals to the community, not get any feedback, not make any changes, and just roll them out as is. So, in that case, I would say don't even give us pre-reads or pre-proposals. Just tell us how it's going to be, because obviously nothing's going to change. And if you don't want inputs, then don't even bother to fake ask for it. Just do what you're going to do, because I'd rather just go on about my day rather than thinking of things that could be made better and offering suggestions. And it's not like you have to take suggestions and implement them, because that's crazy. You wouldn't do that. There's too many voices out there and too many ideas. But at least have the conversation. At least if you have a proposal channel for a proposal, go to the channel, read it, respond to the comments. If not, again, why have the channel? If the community is just going to give you suggestions and comments, you're not going to read them and you're not going to interact with the community, it's kind of a waste of a Discord channel. So that's my thoughts on that topic. Yeah, Steve was like my tag team wrestling partner there in Mav chats last week or so, as we've been trying to discuss, at least at a high level, the topic of account verification. And we definitely got some feedback from the crypto bros out there. And I will give Steve mad props for having a tough skin and being very calm and taking the heat there in Mav chats and definitely coming up with some reasonable ideas and reasonable thoughts and comments, and facing a lot of salt and flames in the process. But at the end of the day, you can only present ideas in a logical fashion, and if a mind is open to understanding those points of views, that's great. If not, well, it's not open. Salty and a straight shooter. Yeah, trust me, Stock Jockey, I don't want to be salty. I want to be here singing the praises of the game. Like, if you follow me on Twitter, like, I will post a lot of very positive things, but I also, I might post a very positive Twitter comment or fact or statement, and a minute later I'll post something that's maybe not so positive. Because, if you just view the game as everything's super great or everything's super bad, that's not a great perspective to have. You have to objectively, in my mind, look at everything that's being presented to you as part of the game and options and everything in a vacuum, and let it stand on its own merits, or let it fall on its own faults. And there's a lot of great things happening in the game right now, and there's a lot of not so great things. So I think it's perfectly reasonable and fair to talk about the good with the bad, because if you only hype the game or you only bash the game, you're really missing the point. You have to look at it all as part of, you know, the overall equation. So that's what I try and do, at least with my channels. I try and keep it real, try and give you, you know, what I believe is the ultimate reality of the data or the proposal or whatever happens to be the topic of the day. And am I right all the time? Absolutely not. I am wrong all the time, but I still have my opinions, and I will research my opinions, and I will try and give you the best viewpoint that I can possibly give you, because really what I try and do is all of the things that I share, all the data that I go through, it's because I'm going through it for myself to make my own personal decisions. And while nothing I would share would be financial advice or, you know, really any advice per se, it's just really what I'm thinking for myself. And, you know, you can certainly disagree with that. And you also might use it to say, yeah, I disagree with that, Tails, because of this reason, this reason, this reason. And what that does is it should further cement and, you know, make you feel stronger about your personal opinion on why you are right and I'm wrong, which is great. And if I present logic that says maybe you change your mind, well, then that's maybe good too, because then maybe I've shared information that you didn't know about or were, you know, maybe hadn't considered previously. At the end of the day, the more information you consume, the better, because having information, whether it comes from Dwayne or Steve or Aftersound or Gathering the Magic or any of the content creators out there, having more inputs and points of view is better for you to make an educated decision for yourself. And even if you don't agree with a specific content creator out there, I still would say if you have the time, it's good to still listen to their points of view, because then again, you can do the exercise to say, hey, I disagree with this content creator, and this is the reason why. It reinforces what you believe in, or it makes you think of something you may have missed. And again, what's the G.I. Joe saying from the cartoon? Knowing is half the battle. And I think when it comes to Splinterlands, you know, knowledge is power and data is power. And the more you have, the better off you will be. Dwayne is saying no pre-sales except land, alpha, or beta packs. Now the number of units has grown and the short-term appreciation isn't the same. Long-term, Dwayne is still bullish, but not short-term. Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's yeah, definitely, I think, the case. You know, it's still time and attention is the mantra that pays here. You know, we're seeing this, how do I phrase this? You know, we're kind of like on a fast moving motorcycle, right? That's maybe going up 100 miles an hour, and we're only looking straight down. And when you look only straight down and you don't look towards the horizon, it's scary. Like, it's very scary. But if you look at the horizon, you can see the long-term picture. You can steer and navigate accordingly. And that's really what we want to do with crypto. Things move fast. Town halls are weekly. You know, maintenance patches come out weekly every Tuesday. So things move fast here, and we have to sometimes take a step back and say, okay, you know, we just need to wait and be patient sometimes a little bit. And that patience is not really dictated by weekly town halls, but really more by, you know, quarters and possibly years. So we have to keep that perspective in mind as we kind of go down this journey. Butters in the house. What's going on, Butters? Every time I see Butters in the stream, I always have the vision of Butters in Vegas at Splinterfest with that massive margarita. So that should be your profile pic, Butters, not the Rooney. You need the margarita as your profile pic. I think that's my input for today. Harris Ochoa in the house. Yeah, well, we try and we do a little spicy takes here and there. 3 best things in Splinterlands and 3 worst things in Splinterlands. All right, you want to know my 3 best things right now, Butters? Well, I actually posted on Twitter. I posted the 3 best things going for Splinterlands right now. The 3 best things going for Splinterlands right now are GLX staking APR. That's number 1. Number 2 is the Chaos Legion time box of March 31st. We'll accelerate the airdrops and the exit of Chaos Legion with hopefully a reduction in the print rate along the way of those cards. That's number 2. And I think the number 3, what was the number 3 item for Splinterlands? I think it might have been the value in the card market that you can get right now if you're a buyer of cards and have a long-term view of the game. I think that might have been number 3, just the opportunity to get some of these cards, these meta cards, at great values compared to where they have been over the last 18 months. So they're definitely at all-time lows, at least for the last 18 months. So I think those are the top 3 things, you know, in the current environment that, let's say in the last week, that I would say are highlights. The 3 worst things in Splinterlands. I don't know. I mean, I would probably say I'm salty about the GLG pack staking delay and waiting period. Not necessarily the delay, because that's development, that happens, but the 7-day waiting period, I'm definitely not happy about. I think that's a mistake and should not be the case, because GLX token staking was 24 hours, not 7 days. So I think they really messed that up and are really punishing, again, pre-sale purchasers. So that is number 1 on my salty complaint list for this week. Number 2, actually, can I add a number 4 to the positive list? Number 4 to the positive list is, I think Farpatrod said he's been working on land only since September, and we're coming out with land 0.5 here in December. So positive, shout out to the land team in getting land moving forward in just like 3 months. That's pretty impressive. Imagine if they were working on land for the last 2 years, where we would be. Well, that's a separate topic. Let's see what else. I mean, if you want to know other things about Splinterlands that I'm maybe not happy about, just check my YouTube channel. I'm sure you'll find a couple things and videos there over the last month that you could add to the list, Butters. Steve is saying the best community ownership, earnings. Yep, community is the best ownership of NFTs and the earnings. The worst items being bot farms, new player experience, and team listening to the smaller players. Okay. Yuki, what's going on? Yuki's in the house. So Yuki, if anyone out there hasn't subscribed or followed to Yuki on Hive or PeakD, you absolutely need to rush and do that right now. Yuki has such great content out there from a card and battle strategy and meta strategy. Like if you are trying to get better at ranked battle play or tournament play, or are just trying to find the next card to add to your deck and level up, Yuki's content is fabulous. He's got content recently on Lux, on the Flame Monkey, and several other cards out there. So shout out to Yuki. Definitely worth a follow on Hive. Just excellent content. And just, I mean, you've got videos in there. You've got detailed battle breakdowns and strategies. Just tremendous stuff. So nice job, Yuki. Butters, can you blame me even if I don't agree? Yeah, sure. I've got a strong back and thick skin. You can blame me. I don't mind. Yeah, we've got a powerhouse here in the chat here. Lots of Splinterlands heavy hitters for sure. Icy Flow is saying quality greater than quantity. Yep. Yuki is smashing the bots. Yeah, absolutely. Go to the champion leaderboard on any given day and you'll see Yuki at the top of that. Yeah, look at this. Chuni, Stock Jockey, Icy Flow. The names, the Hall of Fame of Splinterlands is all here tonight. So we've got a great audience. So thanks everyone for hanging out with us. TNA knows quality content. Yeah, Dwayne. Well, they listen to your channel, so I would say so. Necro's in the house as well. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Any new SPL content creators I'm enjoying these days? Well, I just gave a shout out to Yuki, Dwayne. I don't know if Yuki's doing YouTube videos yet, but his Hive content is on point and is must-read material. I'll give a shout out to Cruton, who's made some excellent Hive posts on the A team and the bot farm, as well as Simran. Simran's done some really good analysis on RNG seeding recently that I featured on Twitch. So there's been some great content there. Not all of it on YouTube necessarily, but just great content to consume on Hive. So those are some recommended follows. If you're not following them, I would suggest doing so. When am I joining TNA? The next time there's a tournament with a $1 million prize spot for TNA guild spots, I'm definitely entering that tournament, Junie. So we're waiting on that. Yeah, if you guys have a level 6 store, I might want to take a stop over there and buy some bloodstones. So just don't tell YGG that. The print rate and the card value, Will is saying that that's shooting down the promo sale. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. We have an Alpha Gamer sighting. We have Jim Morgan here in the chat as well. 6'4", 255 Alpha Gamer. Jim Morgan, welcome to the stream. I'm pissed. No. Not pissed. Maybe cranky. I don't know. Not really cranky. I've actually had a pretty good day, all things considered, so can't really complain. Jim's having a giveaway tomorrow night. Are you giving away a Kelia? Because you can't stand to have the card in your collection? We need another Yuki Baku match. Yeah, that was fun on stream the other day. That was probably, what, a month ago? That was definitely a fun match. Yeah, so not really much going on in the game for me. Like I said, I've been renting out my deck right now, just to be able to get the DEC to buy Chaos Legion packs in the pre-sale, as well as some of these reward cards before burn. So haven't been really playing ranked battles that much this season, but you know, it's all about changing your strategy. I can honestly say that my strategy every season for like the last 6 seasons has changed slightly every season. So we're constantly evolving, constantly making moves, trying to take the assets that we have and maximize how we're using them and how they're earning. Between Archmage or renting or playing in tournaments, with brawls, with SPS rewards. There's just so many different ways you could play the game right now. No right or wrong way. So Steve, he doesn't give away Kelia, he burns it and gives away the DEC. My bad. Yeah, I guess if Jim gave away Kelia, then someone else would use her, and we can't have that. So Jim's not a fan of that. Thoughts about selling a regular foil gold deck to a gold foil silver deck, Harris? It's an interesting question. If you look, I think it was, let me try and remember here. There was recently a Peak D article from Cruton that you should probably check, Harris. And it talks about that specific topic, about how Cruton is going through and selling his cards to create a gold foil deck because he believes those cards will hold value longer term than the regular foil, just based on the print rates. It's an interesting view. I'm not personally going out and changing my deck from regular to gold foil, but there are some interesting points in that article which he brings up, which talks about reallocating assets. And this goes back to Dwayne's content on YouTube about the topic of when's the right time to sell an asset. You know, when's the right time to move out of one asset and into another? And it's when you believe that the future for the other asset will bring you better returns over the course of time, not necessarily how much the asset you're selling is worth today. Like if selling it for a loss today, you know, brings greater profits in the future, then it's the right decision to make that move or make that sale. So I would argue right now is an inflection point in Splinterlands, and that's why if you go to peak monsters in the market, there's a ton of just value out here in the market, is because people are doing exactly that. People are going out and saying, hey, you know, I'm going to make a conscious decision. I'm not going to play in wild. I'm going to sell all my wild cards, my meta cards, and I'm going to focus on modern, and I'm going to focus on rebellion, and I'm going to focus on maxing that out. That's a viable strategy, you know, for sure. You know, will it pay off over time? We'll have to see. But there's a lot of people fire sailing these legendary wild cards right now in exchange for Chaos Legion packs or, you know, GLG or GLX tokens or whatever else that they're trying to get better returns on right now. You know, we have nodes being fire sold for like under $800 today. You know, is that a good long-term play? Yeah, I mean, as Splinterlands recovers, if SPS goes up and voucher prices go up and vouchers aren't reduced in print on nodes, that's a great option. You know, is it speculative? Sure. But it could be like within 2 months later, that node that person bought for $800 could be worth $1,600, you know, and it's very, very possible. So is that a move? Do you go in and do you sell your Jotun, for example? Do you sell your max level Jotun for $1,742 and buy 2 nodes? Well, if you buy 2 nodes today by trading in that Jotun, and then you get the SPS and the vouchers for 2 months, and then you turn around and sell those 2 nodes for $3,200 2 months from now, my guess is you could buy that Jotun back and still have all those profits. So is it a bad thing to fire sale right now? Not necessarily. Depends on what you buy in addition to or in exchange for that Jotun. At the same time, as a player that's going to use Jotun in wild battles moving forward, is it a bad decision or a poor decision to come in here and scoop a Jotun, max level Jotun, for $158 a BCX? I say no. I think that's also a viable option. Remember, Jotun was selling for $750, you know, at the beginning of this year per BCX. So this price has dropped precipitously. And, you know, is Jotun not as good? Yeah, I mean, he's been nerfed with the reflection shield, but he still can win games and is still very good in the right scenario. So yeah, I mean, if you've wanted to play with Jotun and you never could afford them and now you can, and you're going to use them to win SPS in ranked battles and maybe get on the leaderboard, I mean, it's a viable option. It's, you know, I wouldn't fault anyone for buying Jotun at these prices. You know, is it the optimal EV decision? I mean, it can be debated. Is it a bad decision? Probably not. Renting cards through Peak Monsters Premium? Yes, I am, sir. And I am doing so because of your video, actually. So here's what I was doing. I have a Splex account, and I was renting out a lot of my Chaos Legion reward cards and such on Splex. But on my main holding account, I was manually renting on Peak Monsters, you know, my wild cards there, and I'd have to adjust them daily and spend time with that. But once you publish the information on the auto rentals on Peak Monsters, you know, I went out and I paid $3 in PKM, and I'm loving the freedom that Peak Monsters has given me. You know, I was maybe renting my cards out for like, you know, maybe 8,000, 9,000 DEC a day, my wild cards manually on Peak Monsters. Since I moved it to the Peak Monsters premium auto rentals and configured it, I'm getting about 13,000 DEC a day from those same cards. I don't have to do anything. It does it automatically for me. It doesn't charge 10%. It's a flat $3 fee, and I've been enjoying it. It frees up time for me. It does better than I could do, and it's, you know, a flat fee. It's not very expensive. So that was an excellent video, Dwayne, and thanks for creating that content. Waiting for Jim to burn 2 gold foil Luxes. Well, I think Steve would be upset if he burned the second one, but he could probably burn at least one of them. Can I please show how to get to Yuki's content on Peak D? Yeah, let me see if I can find that for you, Chuni. I just reimaged my PC, so I don't have it in my history, so I have to manually find it. But give me a second here. We can certainly do that. Uno momento, por favor. Wow, not even logged in here. Hold on. Sorry, this is a new PC, so it's all messed up here. Let me see if I can log in with Keychain. Okay. So I think we should be able to find it here. So I go to my following here. There's Steve. There's Cruton. This is the article I was talking about. Harris, I think you asked the question, where Cruton talks about what he's doing and how he's going into gold foil. So this is the article that I was recommending. Here's the follow. Cruton, Crootin. Let me find Yuki here. Yuki's when's the last time you posted? I know I just read your Lux. There was 2 articles on Lux recently. Let me find it. Where are we at, Yuki? Hold on. Are you... No, this is not right. This is a lot harder than I thought. Yuki, what's your peak D? Is it a number? Is it one of these 1314s? I thought it was. No. Why isn't it coming up? It's probably because. All right. This is embarrassing. Where are you? There we go. Okay. I forgot the H. All right, here it is. So here's his latest article on Lux Vega. How it can be used with Earth monsters in Champion League. And, you know, you've got the battle replays here. And then the video on YouTube. And it breaks down specifically why Lux is key to that battle. So you've got, again, the replay in the video and specific reasons Y along with Queen Mycelia, Lux's, the rust doesn't take away the Lux shield, for example. So just great detail. You can see specifically how much effort is put into this. So again, recommendations on the monsters that go with the teams, the overall TLDR, and why it's underutilized. So again, if you haven't followed Yuki, if you haven't upvoted his material, you should, because the content is fantastic. And yep. Let me catch up on chat. Can I drop the link? For Cruton's article, I would just search for Cruton under the user here. And you'll find it. It's from 3 days ago, Harris. Steve's thinking about selling Yoden and Llama. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not a bad idea. Selling Yoden and Llama max level right now, before they go into Wild, if you're playing a Modern, could buy you a ton of Chaos Legion packs as part of the CLP or YGG bulk buy. That means a ton of legendary Chaos Legion summoners. So, could be an option. So Dwayne, this is a good question. I am in YGG, and I am going to participate in the YGG group buy, but here's what I did. So this is an interesting conversation. I don't think I've shared this on Splinterlands TV or with anyone at this point in time. So I was going to bring in a small amount of fiat to participate in the YGG Christmas sale. And I was going to buy Chaos Legion packs because, well, I mean, honestly, they're just so cheap. Like with the promo discounts and the airdrops, if you buy in bulk, it's like getting, if you remember YGG, it's like getting Chaos Legion packs for like $1.30, like $1.33 or so-ish. That's crazy cheap. Now I have Chaos Legion packs that I'm sitting on that I haven't opened from the general sale in January. So I don't need more Chaos Legion packs. I don't have a max Chaos Legion deck, but if I wanted to, I could use rental DC to get it, or I could just open packs and get it. So I don't need the Chaos Legion packs. But the reason why I wanted to participate in the YGG Christmas sales, because again, the prices were so cheap, it would essentially be dollar cost averaging down my original Chaos Legion purchase from the general sale back in January of this year. What would I be doing with those Chaos Legion packs other than getting them for cheap? Nothing. I wouldn't be able to sell them anytime soon because my cost, again, dollar cost averages, if I was paying $4 in January and I'm getting a small amount here in the group sale for $1.30, still my cost per pack is still high. It's going to be more than $3 a pack. So all the people taking part in the Christmas sales are getting packs for, let's say, $1.30 to $1.50 a piece. So they're going to flip those on the market once Chaos Legion goes out of print for like $2 or whatever for months. And they'll be making, money on those packs. So the chances of me making money on Chaos Legion packs anytime before, let's say, next fall is probably slim to none. It's just a sunk cost for me at this point in time. So what I decided to do is take an alternate path to the YGG sale. And what I did is I put that fiat and I bought GLX tokens, and I staked those GLX tokens and was getting like 800% APR in those tokens. And you're probably going, Tails, why would you do that? Once you stake those tokens, it takes a week to pull those tokens out and you're not going to make the pre-sale. And what I've done is since I bought the GLX tokens with the fiat, I've just been ever since then cashing out and selling the GLX that I've been getting from staking rewards and converting that into DEC. So let's say instead of spending $100 on the DEC to buy Chaos Legion packs in the YGG pre-sale, I bought $100 of GLX token, and in the next 4 days, the GLX staking rewards will turn into, let's say, $30 worth of Chaos Legion packs. But I'll still have the GLX that I've already purchased still earning me staking rewards from next week onwards. So it's kind of like how do you use money to passively fund other purchases yet still get the benefits of the original purchase. I knew that the Chaos Legion would be a sunk cost. It would just be a cheap bargain buy, but it wouldn't do anything for me, after the purchase. So what I did again is I'm using the fiat to work for me. I get less Chaos Legion packs, but I get some. I get to taste a little bit of it, the Chaos Legion Christmas sale, but then I have GLX tokens working for me, well, for as long as I want to, and then they would have paid for free GLX or free Chaos Legion packs in the meantime, just not as many as I would have been able to buy with Chaos Legion only, if that makes sense. So that's what I did, and I think it'll work for me. Will it work for everyone? Probably not. Everyone has situations different, but that was just what I decided to do with my window of opportunity there. Yuki's post was 5 days ago. Okay. DJ Bagman, are you a member? Well, today everyone's a member, DJ Bagman. Typically, we just do these live streams for members only, but we made it public today and having a good time. Steve, welcome as a member. Appreciate you, Steve, joining. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it went public on mistake. Yeah, we do member streams, Steve, but it's always a lot more private, a lot smaller audience. But this is a good conversation that we're having today. Dwayne's pretty convinced that the last legendary airdrops from Chaos Legion will be amazing. I think so too. I think so as well. Ika, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Gathering the Magics, thinking of loading up on more GLX tokens. They're holding around 7 to 9 cents. Yep. Yeah, I mean, long-term capital loss, yeah, you have to purchase them at a price where the APR holding them you're comfortable with. Like if you're getting 700% APR over the next, it's going to continue to go down, but you have to do the modeling to see what you're comfortable with. At a certain point, the GLX price, the buy walls will fall and the price will drop on GLX token. But the question is how low does it go? Because remember, we haven't hit pre-sale 2 and we haven't hit the minting of the, I think it's the GLUSD token, which can only be minted by burning the GLX token. And if you want to buy in, I think it's pre-sale 2, you have to purchase with GLUSD. So that should be a catalyst to the price of GLX as well. So keep that in mind. Again, not financial advice, do your own research, but there should be some good tokenomics there that, the game could flop and no packs could sell and the token could tank and it could be sub penny easily. That's a risk. You have to be okay with that risk. And, I'm not going to be on here showing GLX because it's an unproven game with no real details. So it's very risky. Definitely wouldn't recommend it for most investors or even players of the game necessarily at this point in time. Gathering the Magic says the GLX token will go down in price, but mainly concerned with staking as many GLX tokens as possible. Yep. Stacking and staking. Agreed. Tomorrow, Dwayne's going live at 10 a.m. Pacific with a live public video. Set your calendars for that. That should be a good time. Awesome, awesome. Be there or be square, says Stock Jockey. Yeah, That is the case. Are the packs available in other cryptos? I think it's just fiat for pre-sales one gathering, but I'm not sure. I have not attempted to buy with crypto on the GLG site. Harris is saying he thinks you can buy in Hive. Okay. Yeah, that could definitely be a possibility as well. I haven't honestly checked, so I'm not sure. So cool. Gathering the Magic will be as well tomorrow on participating there. That's awesome. Yeah, so for sure. I mean, we've been going for, well, I guess over 2 hours now. So, you know, if you have any other topics, we can chat about them. If not, we can wrap because I know it's late for a lot of people. So I think it's 10 a.m. Pacific, Junie, but Dwayne could verify. But that being said, appreciate everyone hanging out on stream tonight. It's been a great conversation. We'll have to do more live streams in the future because it is fun to do this outside of Twitch because I know not everyone is on Twitch. So thanks everyone for your support of the channel. Thanks everyone for watching the videos. And yeah, I mean, have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your week. And bring on the holiday cheer in Splinterlands, right? Awesome. Well, have a good night, everyone. And we'll see everyone hopefully on Dwayne's stream tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Pacific on YouTube. Be there or be square. Have a good night.